The vending machine in the break room hummed with a low, electric buzz that seemed to vibrate right through the soles of my safety boots. It was 11:45 p.m. My shift had technically ended 15 minutes ago, but my body felt like it was still carrying the weight of the last 3 pallets I'd racked. I stared at this firing metal coil holding a bag of chips, $2.50, a markup of nearly 400% compared to the grocery store down the street. But the grocery store was closed. And even if it wasn't, the thought of walking down the aisles, picking a product, standing in line, and driving home felt like climbing Everest. So I tapped my card. Clunk. That sound wasn't just a snack falling. It was the sound of the system working exactly as designed. That was the moment I realized I wasn't just paying for chips. I was paying the exhaustion tax. Hey everyone, I'm Anderson. For 10 years, I've worked in logistics, moving boxers, tracking inventory, and ensuring that millions of dollars of merchandise get from point A to point B with 0 errors. While I was managing complex supply chains at work, my personal finances were a disaster. I was living paycheck to paycheck, constantly wondering where my money went, until I sat down and looked at my life through the lens of a logistics manager. I realized that being poor is expensive, largely because we are too tired to make the optimized choice. We pay for convenience because we are drained. I call this the exhaustion tax. Over the last 12 months, I applied the same principles I use in the warehouse to my bank account. The result? I stopped the bleeding and saved $10,000 on a warehouse wage. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did it. Not by drinking less coffee, but by auditing the logistics of my own life. To understand how I saved that money, you have to understand the environment where I spent most of my waking hours. The warehouse is a cathedral of efficiency. Everything has a place. Every movement is calculated. If a forklift driver takes a route that adds 30 seconds to a trip, that is considered a loss. We track shrinkage, inventory that goes missing due to damage or theft down to the decimal point. One night, while scanning barcodes on a shipment of high-end electronics, it hit me. I knew exactly where every single television in this building was located, but I had no idea where the $50 I withdrew from the ATM 3 days ago had gone. I went home that morning, brewed a pot of cheap coffee, and printed out my bank statements for the last 6 months. It was ugly. It was a chaotic mess of small, reactive purchases. In logistics, we call this inefficient routing. I started highlighting every purchase I made simply because I was tired, stressed, or in a rush. The results were terrifying. I wasn't spending money on luxuries. I didn't have a closet full of designer clothes or a new car in the driveway. I was bleeding cash in $5, $10, and $15 increments. The biggest offender was food. Not fancy dinners, but I'm too tired to cook meals. Delivery apps, convenience store, snacks, the pre-cut fruit that costs 3 times as much as the whole melon. I calculated that in 1 month, I spent $400 on food that I didn't even really enjoy, just consumed it because it was the path of least resistance. That is the exhaustion tax in action. The economy knows you are working hard. It knows that by 6 p.m., your decision-making fatigue has set in. It positions the most expensive, low-quality options right in front of you when your defenses are down. I looked at the statement and realized my life was running on a just-in-time inventory system, which is dangerous if you don't have the leverage of a massive corporation. I was buying toilet paper only when I ran out, paying premium prices at the corner store. I was filling my gas tank in the morning on the way to work, paying the highest rate because I was running late, rather than filling up on the weekend at the cheaper station. My entire financial life was reactive. I was putting out fires with dollar bills. In the warehouse, if we ran operations like this, we would be bankrupt in a quarter. I needed to switch from a reactive model to a predictive one. I needed to treat my life like a supply chain that needed optimization. The first principle of logistics I applied was batching. In the warehouse, we don't move one box at a time. We move pallets. It saves energy, time, and reduces wear and tear on the equipment. I looked at my cooking habits. Cooking a meal every single night is the equivalent of moving one box at a time. It requires setup, execution, and cleanup every 24 hours. It creates massive amounts of friction. When you are tired, that friction is what pushes you to order pizza. So I started treating my kitchen like a production line. Every Sunday, I dedicated 3 hours to batch processing. I didn't just meal prep, I created inventory. I cooked 14 meals at once. I bought huge bags of rice, family packs of chicken, and frozen vegetables, the raw materials with the lowest cost per unit. I remember the first Sunday I did this, my feet hurt and I wanted to sit on the couch, but I treated it like a mandatory shift. I portioned everything into glass containers. Here is the logistics magic. By Monday evening, when I came home, destroyed from the shift, the friction of heating up a home-cooked meal was actually lower than the friction of ordering delivery. To order delivery, I have to unlock my phone, choose a restaurant, decide on a meal, pay, and wait 40 minutes. To eat my batched meal, I just had to open the fridge and press a button on the microwave. I used my own laziness against the system. I made the cheap option the easiest option. Next, I applied route optimization. I realized I was making 5 or 6 trips to different stores throughout the week, burning gas and time. Each trip was an opportunity for impulse buying, what retailers call the end cap trap. I established a strict rule: 1 procurement trip per week. If I forgot something, I went without it. This forced me to become a better planner. The first month I did this, the withdrawal symptoms from spending were real. I felt bored. I realized that buying a coffee or a snack was a dopamine hit. I used to cope with the drudgery of the work week. I had to sit with that boredom. I had to find other ways to decompress that didn't involve tapping a card. I started going for walks in the park, free, or reading books from the library, free. I replaced the dopamine of consumption with the satisfaction of seeing the numbers in my bank account stop dropping. By month 3, the savings from the food budget alone were over $500. But the biggest saving came from preventative maintenance. In a factory, you don't wait for the conveyor belt to snap before you fix it. That causes downtime. And downtime is expensive. You grease the gears on a schedule. I realized I was ignoring my own preventative maintenance. I had been putting off a dental cleaning for 3 years because I didn't want to spend the money. I was driving on bald tires because I couldn't afford new ones. This is false economy. The logist's mindset says, fix it before it breaks. I took a portion of my initial food savings and bought 4 mid-range tires. 2 weeks later, we had a massive rainstorm. If I had been on those old tires, I likely would have hydroplaned and wrecked the car. The deductible alone would have been $1,000, plus higher insurance premiums for years. The new tires cost me $400. That is a net saving of hypothetical thousands. I went to the dentist. I had 2 small cavities. Filling them cost me a few $100s out of pocket. If I had waited another year, that would have been a root canal costing $2,000. I started viewing these expenses not as spending money but as securing assets. My body and my car are the primary assets that allow me to earn an income. If they go down, the supply chain stops. Then came the negotiation phase, or what we call vendor contract review. I sat down with my internet bill, my insurance, and my phone plan. I called them up with the same polite firmness I use with truck drivers who are late. I said, I've been a loyal customer, but this rate is affecting my overhead. What can we do to lower this unit cost? It didn't work every time, but it worked enough. I knocked $30 off my internet and $20 off my insurance. That's $50 a month, $600 a year for 2 phone calls. By the end of the year, The math was undeniable. I hadn't won the lottery. I hadn't received a massive promotion. I simply stopped the leakage. The $10,000 wasn't new money. It was money that used to slip through my fingers in the form of convenience fees, interest, waste, and reactive spending. Seeing 5 figures in my savings account changed my posture. When I walk into the warehouse now, I don't feel trapped. I have a safety stock. I have leverage, and when you have leverage, the exhaustion tax can't touch you. Escaping the cycle of paycheck to paycheck living isn't just about discipline. It's about designing a life where the right choice is also the easy choice. The system relies on you being tired, overwhelmed, and reactive. By applying these logistics principles, batching, route optimization, and preventative maintenance, you can reclaim not just your money, but your peace of mind. You stop being a cog in the machine and start becoming the operator of your own life. If you've made it this far, it's because you understand that breaking free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle isn't about luck, it's about design. It's about making choices today that protect your tomorrow. And if this video made you rethink how you manage your resources, imagine what else we can uncover together. YouTube is already lining up the next video for you, something that will build on this idea and help you take the next step. Keep an eye out, because the algorithm knows what you need before you even search for it. Before you go, drop a like if this approach resonated with you. Share in the comments, what's the first money leak you're going to fix today? And if this content helped you see your finances in a new light, share it with someone else who needs this shift. After all, the best strategies are the ones we share. Thanks for watching all the way through. The journey to a smarter financial life continues in the next video. Until then, remember, you're not a cog, you're the operator.